1961. I'm 17. Finally, I am reconciled with my mother. And Morris is married to Berenice. Another uneasy alliance, but perhaps only to me. And yet the only memory that lingers is that of Jake. Everything else is obscured. I'm nearly a woman, but suddenly a child again. Some would have taken that as a warning, but if it was, I neither cared nor heeded it.
What was that first piece they played?
Rachmaninoff's second piano concerto.
It's odd, but with classical music, it's only if a piece moves me. If I can imagine an image or a picture or something, that it really seems to mean anything to me. Other times, it just leaves me completely cold.
That's fair enough.
It's not like that for you, though, is it? I mean, you enjoy it all.
I'm not completely indiscriminate.
I know, but you're informed. You know something about music, so you can appreciate it both subjectively and objectively. Whereas mine's just the appreciation of a complete ignoramus.
I doubt a complete ignoramus would appreciate it at all.
I still have the feeling that I'm missing out, that everyone's been let in on a secret and I haven't.
Perhaps you're the one with a secret. You appreciate it in your own way, which means you can be totally uninhibited about it. I wouldn't be in too much of a hurry to lose that if I were you. It'll happen soon enough without your help.
Jake, do you want to come up for a coffee or anything?
I have a lot on tomorrow. Some other time, perhaps. Hey. Another nice evening, wasn't it?
If you fancied a nightcap, I have half a bottle upstairs.
Oh, not now, lovey. I've got company. Another time, eh?
Your back isn't straight enough, and your left leg is too far out. It should be tucked under the other one, and your palms should be facing upwards.
Jesus.
Right. Hold that.
Easier said than done, old love.
The real trouble is he still thinks of me as Morris's kid sister. He just sees that and nothing else. And there doesn't seem to be a damn thing I can do about it.
You'd prefer he stuck his hand up your skirt?
Don't be vulgar.
Perhaps he's a gentleman of the old school. Always a little slow in coming forward.
3 months slow.
That does seem a little excessive in terms of gentlemanly conduct, I agree.
I was watching him tonight at the concert. He was totally relaxed and absorbed, totally. I might just as well have not been there. I could just see it all going on and on. The odd dinner, a concert, the occasional afternoon in the country. It isn't fair to ask me to settle for that.
Except he isn't asking you, is he? Which is more to the point. Look, you can't force someone to be attracted to you if they're not. Apart from being a chemical impossibility, it's also highly degrading. Take my word for it.
Well, if he isn't, why bother to take me out at all?
Perhaps your obvious approbation is good for his ego.
Eh?
Perhaps he just enjoys your company. I mean, that's not impossible. Perhaps he's the same as me. That's not impossible either.
Except his track record rather indicates otherwise.
Well, that doesn't prove a thing.
Yes, well, I don't happen to have such a high opinion of myself to believe that just because somebody doesn't make a pass at me, it's because they're...
Yes?
No. Something else. Something that's holding him back.
Well, there's only one way of resolving a situation of total arm pass, which this obviously is. If he won't, or can't take the initiative...
Oh, I couldn't, Ray. Could I?
Oh.
How long are you up here for?
Only overnight, or as long as Alec's business takes.
I thought maybe he'd try and see Mother again while he was up north, about the divorce.
No?
How can you be so patient about it, Olivia?
I'm not patient. Just resigned, that's all. Would you like some of this? Anyway, I can understand how she feels, up to a point. If she agrees to a divorce, she'll have to publicly acknowledge the marriage has failed, won't she? Which is something she obviously just can't do.
Or won't do. She always did care far too much about what other people think. Well, if I was in your place, I'd hate her.
Why?
Well, it makes everything so complicated, doesn't it? I mean, for a start, you and Alec can't get married, so you can't have children of your own, can you?
Well, we could if we wanted to. But we probably care too much about what other people think as well. When it comes to it, we're all as trapped in convention as each other.
Except she's the one trapping you.
No one can trap anyone, Anna. We're all responsible for our own actions. I thought you discovered that when you decided to leave home and get a job. What was it you said? I want to live my own life in my own way.
Did I really say that? How very adolescent of me.
I thought it was rather impressive at the time.
Well, you don't have to live up to it. Have you ever found you're going along quite happily and something happens? You meet someone, say, and suddenly everything you had before seems quite pointless. Particularly when you realize that the one thing that can make you really happy, you'll probably never have.
Are you talking in general or in specifics?
Specifics.
Anyone I know?
Jake Staveley. I know he's years older than me and totally unsuitable, which is why I don't want Alec to know. You know how he'd worry.
Has he cause to worry?
He would if I had my way.
Anna.
What is it?
No, it doesn't matter. It's probably not for me to say anything anyway.
Say what?
Well, if you believe enough in your own worth, I mean really believe it, you don't need someone's love to prove it to you. Isn't that the mistake your mother made?
And there's an awful smell from your loving mother. It's here. From now on, our troubles are over.
What is it?
But this thing will never work again.
What thing?
It'll guarantee us a life of ease and luxury that we've never dreamed of.
What thing? What thing?
There.
Jake? It's me. I thought I might drop in on you tonight. Catch some coffee. Right. Lovely. See you about 8 then. What? Yes, I'll find it. Don't worry. Bye.
Well, it looks like whiskey. Unless you fancy trying ouzo, but for your sake and mine, I don't think you should.
Whiskey will be fine. With water, please. It's very different from how I imagined. Your flat. I thought it would be more...
Squalid?
less civilized, anyway. I pictured it more as your attic garret, overrun with posters and revolutionary books.
What a romantic image you have of me. Cheers.
Cheers.
Aren't you going to take your coat off?
I do that a lot. You know, build images of people. I kind of get an impression of someone and take it from there. Silly, really. Because no one ever lives up to their dream images, do they?
So I do it.
I suppose I want people to be more interesting than they really are.
Is that why you did it with me?
Of course not.
Sounds like it. Should be quite insulted.
I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about having ideals and trying to live up to them. Or don't you think that's important?
At your age, I suppose it is.
My age? You're always dragging my age into it. I am over the age of consent, you know. And whatever you think, I'm no longer Morris's baby sister, and you don't have to take me out occasionally because of some sense of duty. In fact, if that's the case, I'd rather not see you again.
Is that what you came here tonight to tell me?
Yes. No. I came because I want to know whether you're maintaining this association merely because you feel obligated.
Maintaining this association? Rather formal, isn't it?
Well, you're the one who makes it formal, aren't you?
Well, I can't see why I should feel obligated to you.
Nor can I. Neither can I explain why you bothered to take me out at all.
Can't you?
Can you?
You're offended because I haven't made a pass at you, right? That's what this is really about. Well, it's not that I don't find you attractive, Anna, but I can't just hold you and kiss you goodnight and let it go at that. And that's what you really want, isn't it?
You know what I want.
I know what you think you want.
So I don't know my own mind.
I didn't say that.
Didn't you?
Look, I don't want to hurt you. Is that plain enough?
So you patronize me instead. Anyway, there's no reason why you should hurt me. I'm quite resilient, you know. More so than you, probably.
I hope so. What's the matter?
It's a nightmare. I have them occasionally. Sorry.
What for?
Waking you.
You didn't. Cigarette?
Jake,
Mm.
do you love me?
Yeah. But I'm not sure you'd understand it.
Why not? It's simple, isn't it? Either you do or you don't.
Define it. Your idea of love.
Define it.
Explain it.
Well, it's wanting to give someone everything. It's feeling united against anything that can come to you. It's not being lonely. It's an adventure. It's nothing else mattering a damn. Now let's hear yours.
Oh, I don't think you'd like it.
Go on.
It's wanting someone else to obliterate all your insecurities about the past and the future. It's the ego feeding on mutual admiration. It's knitting yourself into somebody else. So that when one of you wants to break away, both of you tear at the edges. In other words, it's a bloody tall order. I did warn you.
You did, yeah.
God, I wish you were older, Anna.
Why?
Maybe I wouldn't feel so responsible for you.
At least you feel something.
You know better than that.
Jake?
Yeah.
I've been thinking. Perhaps I should let my room in Ephraim Road go. Are you listening to me?
I'm trying to listen to this, actually.
What is it?
Watch it and you'll find out. So much for civil liberty and free speech. Anna, I'm trying to watch it. It happens to be important.
Well, if it's so important, why didn't we go to it?
Because we're too wrapped up in ourselves, I should imagine.
That goes for most of the population.
Which is hardly an excuse, is it? Sorry, what were you saying about Ephraim Road?
Just that I should let it go. Well, I'm hardly ever there these days. It's just wasting money keeping it on. What do you think?
It's up to you, isn't it?
We shouldn't always do that.
What?
Put the onus on me, make me take all the initiative. Why?
Perhaps I don't want to lay myself open to accusation later.
I just want to know what you feel about it, whether you think it's a good idea.
Why not?
Oh, Tassie.
It's quite useless, of course, but it's all that my pocket and imagination could run to.
It's lovely, lovely. And this isn't goodbye, because I'll be coming back, won't I, to visit you?
Yes, well, you better leave us your address just in case.
Right. When I started packing, I got quite... I don't know. I suppose it's like one's last day of school, isn't it? If anything, it is the devil you know. And I've put down the telephone number as well.
Right. So.
I will miss you, Tassie.
Oh, get away.
I really will.
Just don't let him bugger you about, that's all. And if he doesn't, hang on to him, because he'll be one in a sodding million, believe you me.
How very touching. Then these farewell scenes always are, aren't they?
Ray.
I didn't bother to wrap it.
You shouldn't have.
Well, rather more my taste than yours, I fancy. It'll serve as a reminder of me, which is the point of these sentimental exercises, so I'm led to believe.
Oh, it's lovely, and I won't need reminding. I was just saying to Tassie, I'll be back to visit you whenever I get the chance.
That'll be something to look forward to, won't it?
Is he coming to pick you up or what?
I've got a taxi booked. Not much to show for 2 years of independence, is it? Oh, cheer up. I tell you what, you must come round for a meal one night next week, for old time's sake.
Well, perhaps we ought to hear our invitation endorsed by a prospective host, eh?
He won't mind. Why should he? Look, he's not a snob, if that's what you're thinking. I wouldn't be with him if he was, would I?
Yeah, that's your taxi. Come on, Raymond, give us a hand.
Will you take the case, Ray?
I'll take this, eh?
Ray? Aren't you going to wish me luck?
Goodbye, Anna.
Surprise is on me, I'd say. Then why say you've got a secretarial job at all? Why deliberately deceive me?
Because I knew what you'd say. Anyway, it's only till I've got experience and I'll get a decent job.
A typing pool? What in God's name kind of experience is that going to give you?
It's a stopgap! How many times?
Until what? You marry the first man that comes along so you can get out of it? I should have made you go back to school when I had the chance.
Look! I'm self-sufficient, aren't I? So what's it got to do with anybody else?
Oh, so your family suddenly don't rate anymore? Our feelings don't count? Or is this just some elaborate way of getting back at us all? You're wasting everything, Anna. Your chance of university, a decent job, everything.
I know what I'm doing.
And shacking up with some itinerant student, is that part of your great scheme of things as well?
He happens to be a lecturer at a college.
But you are living with him?
Yes.
My God.
Who told you?
I called round at Ephraim Road. They gave me your forwarding address, care of Jake Staveley.
I didn't intend you should find out that way. I'm sorry.
You mean you'd have told me?
I was going to write. I was. Anyway, we're not doing anything you and Olivia aren't, are we?
The circumstances are somewhat different, wouldn't you say?
I'd say they're remarkably similar. You saw a chance of happiness, so you grabbed it, and so have I.
Perhaps it's just as well you didn't finish your education, Anna, since you seem to have an answer for everything without it. You refuse to see it, don't you?
See what?
That the two things go together. If you had a decent career, with some kind of potential, something that would stretch your mind, you wouldn't be in this wretched mess.
Who says I'm in a mess?
Anna, if he'd wanted to settle down by now, he would have. How long do you think he's going to want you? For pity's sake, don't let your mother find out. I don't want to be blamed for this as well.
You just don't know him properly, that's the trouble. If you did, you'd feel quite differently. Look, why don't you let me bring him down at Christmas? Then you can see there's nothing to worry about.
Does he make you happy?
Happier than I've ever been. And I ever thought possible. Well, that's all that's important, isn't it?
One thing about one's parents being safely ensconced abroad, at least one spared the annual paternal lecture.
Well, he didn't lecture, not really.
Christmas is going to be a real laugh, isn't it? Him interrogating me over the turkey while I make small talk with his nearest and dearest.
You don't mind, do you?
No. Not in the least. Anyway, I think he's right in some ways. You should get yourself a decent job.
I haven't got any qualifications, have I?
So get some. It's not too late.
Is that what you want me to do?
It's what you want, isn't it? If you're happy as you are, fine. But personally, I'd have thought pounding a typewriter 8 hours a day would drive any reasonably intelligent person insane within a week. Damn.
Jake? What happened to my picture?
I took it down.
Why?
It's a piece of unadulterated, tasteless crap. You don't mind, do you?
Sometimes our duty's extramural and little butterflies we chase.
We like to gamble in things rural, commune with nature face to face.
But to our beat then back returning,
Refreshed by nature's holy charms.
we run them in, we run them in,
We run them in.
we show them we're the bold gendarmes. We run them in, we run them in,
We run them in.
we run them in, we show them we're the bold gendarmes.
No, I mean it. You have my congratulations, not to mention my sympathy.
For that comment, mate, has just forfeited you the role of godfather. You'll be relieved to hear.
Jake, a godfather.
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be highly respectable, set a religious example.
No, not the one I'm looking for. He has to have far more important functions, like providing expensive birthday presents and taking the little bugger off so his parents can have a decent holiday now and again.
Very cynical view for a prospective father.
Ah, don't worry, I'll probably go the way of all flesh and end up reading Winnie the Pooh and throwing myself into the raptures of potty training.
I'm going to borrow him. Do you mind?
Not at all.
Even if you did, you'd be far too polite to say so. I am the hostess, after all. I've heard of this new dance.
Oh, the Madison. Have you got in the touch chamber?
Just removing your heart, little sister, before everybody else sees it.
I'm fed up with it. No, I don't. The entire Christmas, everyone's treated me like an overgrown schoolgirl. Alec going on about my job, Olivia delicately trying to find out if I'm taking proper contraception, and now you.
I never even mentioned contraception. Hardly in a position to, am I? Let's face it. Well, producing an heir at the age of 21 is hardly part of the aspiring young man's great plan now, is it?
Oh, you've always made it sound as if it was.
Well, it was part of Berenice's, but certainly not part of mine. I wanted to wait. She didn't. She won. End of story. Still has given Mother an interest in life again. She's sitting at home knitting booties or whatever. You been to see her lately?
Probably for the new year. I'm taking Jacob.
Oh, well, so long as he doesn't eat peas off his knife, he'll probably go down a real treat. It's that serious between you two, then, is it?
Why do you ask?
Well, introducing one's current partner for parental approval usually implies that, doesn't it?
Would you object if it were?
Hardly for me to object. He's good-looking, socially respectable, clever, heterosexual. What possible objection could there be? That is a nauseatingly perfect set of credentials, if you ask me.
Then why are Alec and Olivia so worried?
Are they?
Well, you've seen the way they fuss over me.
Perhaps they feel they should, as your surrogate parents. Yeah, the only thing about Jake that I can see is he's just a little...
Yes?
I think a bit of self-censorship might be expeditious at this point.
Morris.
All right. It's just that in all the time I've known him, he's never been without a woman. Never. And it's not just your casual flings, it's always your serious, intense relationship, but always short-lived, which has struck me as rather odd.
Why? Because he didn't throw himself into marriage at the first opportunity?
You asked, so I'm telling you. I've seen him when a relationship reaches a certain point, just switch off.
Perhaps he didn't want to carry on with it. Perhaps they weren't right for him. There could be a dozen explanations.
One is more likely. And I'm not implying he's impotent, not physically.
Look, Morris, I happen to know he cares about me. Oh, not the grand passion you share with Berenice, perhaps. But in his own way, he does. And I'm not complaining. Because unlike you, it's not something I've had a great deal of. So I haven't got a lot to compare it with, have I?
Come on, it's me, remember?
Morris, I think it's about time we're off now, if you're ready.
Be right with you, Berenice.
Anna? Berenice? Don't be too long, will you, Morris?
Yeah, well, I'd better go. Duty calls, etc.
Yes.
Stick with it, eh?
You too. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. I'd really like to see Ray and Tassie again, Jake. Haven't seen them for weeks, months even. Could we have them round for dinner? Would you mind?
Sure, why not?
I'll ring and fix it now. One night next week.
Oh, next week might be tricky. Harvey's coming.
Harvey?
Yeah, didn't I tell you? He's an old school friend. He's been in the States past year. Said you could come and stay with us for a while.
6, 8, which house is the one that's great? Milton!
We used to sing that every sports day. It seemed like every other day as far as I was concerned.
Harvey hated sport.
I detested the whole thing, all that old schoolhouse bonhomie and house loyalty. Ugh.
What were you doing in the States?
No, just bumming around.
He worked for a fashionable publishing house on an exorbitant salary.
Well, you need it with the lifestyle they have over there. Oh, the girls send their love, by the way. Particularly Jerry.
How is she?
Just the same. Well, you know Jerry. An old friend of ours from university. One of the few left unmarried as well. Yeah, it's just you and me left now, kid.
Last of the Mohicans.
Now, this is my favourite kind of evening. There is nothing like getting maudlin pissed with two of the nicest people around. Unless it's getting maudlin pissed with three of the nicest people around.
He'll have us swearing undying friendship in a minute.
Well, what's wrong with that?
And end up feeling like idiots in the morning. No thanks.
Such cynicism. And from one so young.
Not that young.
Be warned. It's a sensitive subject.
Oh.
Same again.
Oh, if you insist, Jake, yeah.
Hannah?
Please.
So he's back to college then next week, is he?
Hmm.
Hard to reconcile old Jake with a career. Never took much interest in it before. None as you'd notice, anyway.
He seems to be really enjoying it.
Life in general, I'd say. You ought to be congratulated.
Me?
Credit where it's due. You're responsible, aren't you? In part, if not in toto. I know I kid Jake about it, but it's time he settled down and committed himself to something. Or someone. You know, I think he was wasting himself before. I mean, one never likes to see one's peers opt for solid respectability, does one? It's not so much a disconcerting example. It's more like a bloody reproach. The lad himself. So, while our resident scholar here is submerged in his tutorials next week, I guess we'll have to find some way of amusing ourselves. Any suggestions? Oh, sorry, I wanted to borrow a book. I'll count sheep instead.
Stupid sod.
Oh, yeah, incredible, isn't she? What time did Jake say he'd be back?
Around 10.
Oh, yeah. Are you, going to read that book all evening?
Well, not if you don't want me to.
Let's talk instead, hmm?
About what?
How about Piaf?
Sorry?
Edith Piaf? How do you rate her?
She's terrific.
Now it's your turn. Think of a topic, any topic, and we'll discuss it.
Well, like what?
Anything you like. Serious, trivial, you know, anything.
What's the most repulsive thing you can think of doing?
Drinking gin out of a cracked mug.
Putting on dirty clothes after a bath.
How tame we are.
We've only just started, haven't we?
Of course, if you were to ask Jake, he'd say marriage.
Really?
Oh, certainly. At least he always used to.
Did you talk to his girlfriends like this, too?
Didn't usually apply, seeing as most of his girlfriends were mine, too.
How cosy.
It was.
Let's just listen to the music, shall we?
As you like. Just putting an arm round a friend. Don't mind, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, come on, Anna.
Harvey,
Come on.
please.
Oh, sorry, please. Is that the magic word? Please.
Stop it, Harvey, stop it!
All right, nobody's going to rape anybody. There's no need to sound the alarm.
I knew you'd try something like that. I just knew it.
All right, let's just put it down as one of those ideas that seemed okay at the time, shall we?
I thought Jake was supposed to be your best friend.
There's no supposed about it. He
Then how
is.
can you turn round and...
Oh, come on, Anna. He doesn't own you any more than you do him. However much you'd like to think you do.
Don't bother, I'm awake.
God, I've had it. Completely and utterly had it.
What were you laughing about just now?
Eh?
With Harvey, was it me?
Christ, you're paranoid. Why should it be you?
Was it?
He was just telling me some anecdotes about New York.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the sooner he goes back there, the better.
Look, Anna, I know it's not easy, the three of us sharing a flat this size, but he happens to be a friend of mine.
Friend, some friend.
You going to explain that?
Certainly. While you were out tonight, he made a pass at me.
Is that all?
All? He tried to make love to me.
So what? You're a pretty girl. What do you want me to do? Go out there and punch him on the nose? For God's sake, grow up, Anna. Look, if you'd responded, it would be different, but you didn't, did you?
Yes, well, I don't want him around anymore. I want him out.
Well, that's just tough, because he's staying. Jesus, he lays a hand on your tit. You make a great drama out of it. It's ridiculous.
If you ask me, it's ridiculous calling someone like that a friend.
Where the hell are your friends, I'd like to know? Died of neglect, I expect, because you decided you were in love. Well, I need my friends, Anna. I enjoy being with other people. And the company of one person all the time just isn't sufficient for anybody, and it's time you face that.
Is that why you and Harvey used to share girlfriends?
No. That was a long time ago. It's got sod all to do with what we're talking about. It's like you're jealous of everything or everybody who has any claim on me, past or present.
That isn't true.
Isn't it? You took against Harvey long before tonight's little debauch.
I took against him because he behaved abominably.
All right, let's drop it.
Look, I know I'm possessive sometimes and demanding. I know I am. I just can't help it. And if you loved me, really loved me, you'd feel the same way.
I once asked you what love meant, remember? You said, what was it? Caring for someone? Giving and asking nothing in return? Well, if that is a true definition, you don't love me. You love yourself and think of me only in relation to yourself. I want the person who loves me to be whole and independent. You may be one day.
You don't say that when we're in bed, do you?
Maybe because that's the only place you seem to have any confidence, where we really are equal. Oh, don't just turn away, for God's sake. Fight back. For once in your life, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me to go to hell, but just fight back.
What are you doing?
I'm going to sleep on the couch.
Why?
Because if I get back into bed with you, we'll end up doing what we always do. Making love, pretending everything in the world's just rosy. Frankly, Anna, I'm not in the mood.